Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. Now we've got Corporal Madamgab, who's been part of the organization for about a year now.
Yep. Next month will be exactly a year.
Next month, a year.
Yeah.
Well, that's awesome.
Yep.
So we're going to get into a little bit of questioning, let you get to know Ms. Madamgab, and give you an idea of some of the personalities that are part of the organization. So, Madamgab, if you would, tell me from your perspective what the Alliance is.
First off, it is a Christian organization. That is one of the things I really like, and it's not just oh, we're Christians. It's in everything that we do. You can tell it. The prayers that we have, every single meeting, whether it's on Zello or whether it's in person, we always pray. We are preppers. We plan for a worst case scenario as far as our food supplies, as far as self-defense. Also in getting to know each other so that we can support each other during those times of good and bad. We conservatives, we want to stick to the Constitution the way it was written. We support our country. We support law enforcement. We support the military. We support the legal rights of each and every person, and we want to stay on the foundations that our nation was founded on those principles. We don't want to vary. You have your rights and everything, and we believe you should have rights, but at the same time, it's getting to the point where people are offended because I have a right because their belief is different than mine, and I don't think that should be, you should be able to believe what you want to believe, but you shouldn't be able to get offended and angry at me just because my belief is different than yours. And I think this country has got tension so much that you need that group of people that can support you when you have all of that ignorance coming your way. And that's what we do. We're a family that supports each other.
Now, a lot of times when you say, we're preppers, okay, they think of, backwoods, hillbilly type.
Well, I kind of am backwoods hillbilly, but no, just the common sense things of, okay, if your power goes down because of a hurricane and you have no power for 2 weeks and you can't leave home, are you going to be able to feed yourself? Are you going to be able to have drinking water? Do you know how to take care of small medical emergencies or even big medical emergencies? Do you know the difference in a small emergency and a big emergency? Do you know when you can handle it at home or when you need to venture out in horrible weather or call 911 for them to venture out? And that's if the phone's up. When people think of preppers, they think doomsday, the whole world's going to end, something catastrophic that affects the whole country or the whole world. And that's not necessarily true. Katrina, when it hit, that was so devastating for so long down there. And people were without food, they were without water, they were standing out in the heat. But those that had prepped, they had generators to make sure that they had power. They had water stocked. And when you're thinking prepping, it doesn't have to be, the end of the world times. It can just be trying to get through a winter storm. Texas last year, there were so many of those that I saw pictures. They stayed in line at the grocery store for 2 or 3 hours to get into an empty grocery store. I don't want to have to do that. I want to make sure that I have enough food supply that if I can't go to the grocery store for a month, then I've got it at home. And to me, that's prepping.
I got you. I think what I was getting at is I used the term hillbilly, and I didn't mean to. I didn't quite mean to use that word, but it comes across, in some people's eyes.
Yeah.
They think that preppers are just high school dropouts if they even made it to high school.
Yeah.
Just uneducated. Now, what do you do?
I'm an RN.
An RN.
Yep.
So a little bit of education
Yes.
there, and think on your own, and
Yeah. And I know plenty of preppers that college degrees, bachelor's, master's, people that's been in the military for a long time. And a lot of the things, especially buying solar panels, costs money. And, it's not the people that are very poor because they're used to dealing with nothing and living that way. It's the people that's used to having things that really have to prep for the times that they don't have those.
okay. Does the state of the country that we're in right now have any reason or any bearing on why you prep?
No, like I said, we've lived in the middle of nowhere my whole life. We were always the kind of people that canned, hunted, fished, stuff like that, things that people associate with preppers. So it was just kind of a easy progress for me to go from just who I was to consider myself a prepper. The state of the country, though, worries me in a lot of ways. I think there's a lot of people that's not prepared for a worst-case scenario. You hear of shortages of milk, of eggs, of this or that, and people are kind of flipping out because they're not prepared. And when you talk about the average grocery store, they said has enough food for like 2 days at regular shopping. The average person has 3 days worth of food at their home. Now you tell me when something catastrophic happens, like Texas, after a week, nobody has food for the most part. And when you start getting hungry, your children start getting hungry, that's when violence happens, because those people, it's either eat or die. And so, that worries me, the state of, and you look at droughts in some places, floods in others, we're not getting in the amount of food that we typically get in harvesting, and it's all going to come to a head at some point. And when you can't eat, it's going to make it even worse.
Yeah, I wouldn't be happy.
No.
Well, even, you was talking about the shortages, even medication, it's coming from China, and compliments of the Speaker of the House.
Yeah.
It's like she went out there and stoked the flame. There's not any reason, there's a reason why, but what is to stop, especially with the new missile that China's boasting they have that's unstoppable? We could be popped off an EMP right over our country at any time. What would happen,
And especially, say, diabetics, insulin-dependent diabetics. Insulin needs to be refrigerated after so many days, and certain kinds have to be refrigerated all the time. So you think about 6 months later, do you have a 6-month supply of insulin? Do you have a way to keep it cold? Can you last a year later? At what point do you run out of the medication you have? Same with cardiac medicines, asthma medicines, stuff like that. If we have something catastrophic happen, are you going to let your child die because you don't have insulin? Or are you going to go attack this 80-year-old woman that has insulin, but she's going to die in a couple of years regardless of best case scenario? So why not take it from her and give it to your 13-year-old?
Right, and that's how people were thinking.
And that's the mentality that, and even the best people that's out there, I'm a mom of 3. And I'm telling you, I would kill for them. And I know most parents feel that way. And when it would come down to my children surviving or you surviving, regardless of how much I love you, I love them more.
Right. Well, it's thicker than water, I've always heard.
Mm-hmm.
But let me ask you this, what excites you about the organization most?
The camaraderie, how it is a group of Christians that come together to support each other, to pray together, to learn together, to plan together. I love that it doesn't seem like there's a bunch of attitudes or anything like that, of I'm better than you or anything like that, regardless of what your rank is, whether you've been here for 2 weeks or 2 years, that it's the same. Everybody has ideas. We listen to each other's ideas. We support each other's ideas. We come together and pray together. When there's something wrong with one person, we pray for them, we check on them. It is just, it's like the best members of your family together. We don't have that crazy cousin or that drunk aunt or anything. We just have, I'm telling you, because family ain't always good, but this is like the good family. It's like you handpicked the members of your family, and they're great. And I feel like I can call absolutely anyone in this group if I needed to talk about anything, if I needed to just vent, I can do that. If I needed to cry, my father was diagnosed with bladder cancer, and we came together and prayed over that and prayed over him, and the amount of people that asked me how he was doing and what was going on with him, and it was more than I got from family members, more than I got from work, family. even more than I got from my church family.
You
I
look
got,
like you're about to tear up a little bit.
yeah, because, you know, my dad's my heart.
Yeah.
But, I mean, it was great, you know, and we've had one time that there was a lot of us going through something, and we had a Zello meeting just to pray together. You know, you don't get that in so many places. And again, so many people, it's easy for them to say, hey, I'm a Christian, but their actions say otherwise. But that's not how it is with this group. You know, you don't have to come up to me and tell me I'm a Christian. It's in your actions, it's in your deeds, it's in your words. You know
by the fruit you bear.
Yes.
There you go. Been looking at your shirt. What is that all about?
I Am Second actually ties into that. They actually have a little app on the phone and everything you can get on different people's stories. But it is a thing to say, I am second and God is first in everything I do. So when that person cuts you off in traffic and you feel like putting up a finger and saying a few words, stop and put yourself second and put God first. Are those actions going to show that you are God's child? Are those actions going to lead somebody to God? And so whenever you get that, and there was even armbands, and mine's worn out and falling off, but there was plenty of times that I would get upset and I would sit there and hit that armband like, Lord, you know, put your hand over my mouth. But it was a good reminder that everything I need to do, I need to put myself second and God first.
That's awesome. I love that.
Yep.
Well, I tell you, you can find out more about us at 50states1country.com. Get on there, look it over, fill out the application if you're so inclined. And before we close, I want to go back to Madamgab. Is there anything else that you'd like to add that maybe we didn't cover?
No, I just love this organization. I love the people that are here. I have learned so much since joining. A lot of times I'm the only female on site and there's a lot of guys, so if there's any more women that wants to come in. But I've never felt threatened. I've never felt, you know, it was like I was with my brothers the whole time. You know, it seemed like, you know, just a bunch of friends. I never felt that anyone said anything untoward to me or did anything. You know, I've always felt safe and not had to worry about that. And even to the point that I bring my youngest daughter out here, and she's 20, and I never have to worry about her being with any of them. You know, if she needs to run to the store with one of them or they need to go in the woods and shoot some, I don't stress over it because I trust these guys because we are family. Yeah. And it's the best people. They're the salt of the earth. You know, I love it. I'm glad that I joined, and it makes me feel safe that if something does happen, you know, y'all are just a phone call away or hit that button on Life 360 and, you know, I have a whole army coming to defend me.
That's a fact.
Yes.
Ma'am, I appreciate your time.
I appreciate you. Thank you.
All right, thank you, Madamgab. I appreciate it. Now, if you've watched the last few videos, one of the common factors that you've heard is brotherhood, family-oriented, and I can't state that no better myself. Now, if you like what you see, by all means, like, subscribe. Be sure to click that bell notification so you're notified every time we upload videos, and by all means, share it. Help us grow. Now, if you're interested in becoming a part of the group, please go to 50states1country.com and submit an application today. Until the next time, we'll see you there.